We're here in the city of Yokneam, where the Shafners are volunteering to put together food packages for poor people in Yokneam before we get to Pesach. This is the man who stands behind it all, fought in many wars for the Jewish people, and was injured and decided to dedicate his life to doing the work of helping others. This is, of course, it's right before the holiday of Pesach. And it is indeed appropriate to be putting together food for those who are poor. In fact, Torah tells us that 400 years before the Jewish people were in Egypt, many years before the Jewish people were in Egypt, God tells Abraham, your children will be slaves in a land that is not theirs, and they'll come out. And the question, of course, so, and they were slaves for 400 years, about 200 years, counting from the birth of Yitzchak was 400 years, and the question, of course, is why did the Jewish people have to be slaves? And so many answer that we see in the Torah. The Torah tells us, love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Help the ani, those who are poor. Help the widow, the orphan. All of that perhaps comes from the original experience that the Jewish people had of being slaves in the land of Egypt. We have to know the feeling of slavery, the feeling of pain, the feeling of alienation, in order to live a life that is dedicated to helping others and to being a bracha l'chomish blessing to all the families of the earth. And here we've come to Yokneam. We're outside of the city in an industrial area, and nobody's paid here. They're all volunteers in our sister city, St. Louis' sister city, and this man that runs it, he delivers them all by hand on Wednesday and Thursday to those who he knows are poor. 400 families receive food every week from through table to table, and through this organization called Kol HaLev, the Voice of the Heart, and it's done very quietly, much like we do in St. Louis, poor families. And indeed, this is part of the deep message of Pesach, that we put ourselves aside, we minimize our own pleasure, we don't eat bread, but we eat matzah, so not only do we remember that God took us out of the land of Egypt, but that also has to translate into what we do for the rest of the Jewish people. Chag Sameach to everyone.